Thank you, everyone, for traveling to Calgary. I know compared to other parts of what we call Canada now, it's probably a little chillier in the mornings than many places, so I hope we've all packed warm clothes. My name is Stephanie Warner. I'm the manager of the Knowledge Engagement team here in Research Services. And I'm really pleased to welcome you to the University of Calgary, which is located on the traditional territories of the people of Treaty 7 region in southern Alberta. This includes the Blackfoot Confederacy, comprising the Siksika, Piikani, and Kainai First Nations, the Tsuut'ina, and the Stoney Nakoda, which includes the Chiniki, Bearspaw, and Goodstoney First Nations. And the city of Calgary is also home to the Métis Nation of Alberta, Region 3. I know many of you are traveling from other parts of this land. So if you just take a moment to think about where you're joining from today, and we'll share a few videos available through our Office of Indigenous Engagement, as well as through the Calgary Foundation. Cross your fingers that this will work.
Geographic locations are what we call natural laws. Our laws come from the land, and our practices of granting rights and privileges is a process we were born with that ties us to this land. The mother's body was the first environment that we experienced. And when it's time for you to leave, you go to the mother environment, which is the mother's body, and you ask the environment if you can leave. And a process happens where the mother grants you the privilege to leave. So you go into another environment. That's why we talk about Mother Earth. When we accept other people coming into our territory, there's a process that happens. A smudge, a practice of gathering of our people. And that practice is where we bring in permission to come into your territory. Those are systems that actually came from the mother's body to the environment that we live in. And we use those systems to greet other people as they come into our territory.
Perfect. So that was Dr. Reg Crowshoe, who's one of the elders that works with the University of Calgary. We don't need the ads as well. And I wanted to share as well this video. Oops, sorry. From the Calgary Foundation, because it tells a bit more of the story of this particular land.
Those of us that are continuing our oral history are blessed. What we shared, that was told from way back. Many, many years ago, my great uncle asked my grandfather, "How long have we been here?" He relayed a story about carrying a way of life as Nitsitapi, the Blackfoot-speaking people. The prairie region was dominated by the prairie grizzly bear. The prairie grizzly bear said, "You have to make treaty with everything in this prairie land. The animals, the birds, the fish, the water, the hills, the rocks. They all live in beings." He said, "I will move to the southern region." And so they became Sokitsitapi, the people of the plains, of the open country.
We were part of the ecosystem. We were not masters of it. The buffalo and the moose and the elk and the antelope and the deer and the grass and the trees were more than us.
We were raised to believe that everything has a spirit and that everything around us is alive and has a purpose.
We praise Creator, Giver of life. We give thanks to Mother Earth,
You know, after we grow up from our biological mothers, the earth becomes our caregiver. Everything that we need is there.
And we're supposed to honor the Creator with all our life. And we're supposed to look after the gift of the land that He gave us to live on.
For us, the land tells us the story. I mean, it's just story after story. Oh, this happened here, this happened here, this happened over here.
Mukins, just the story is not be the old man standing with his bow and his elbows on this side.
That was how our warriors pictured the landscape.
All the tributaries run into the bow. It's the mother of all water that flows through. People came there, they asked, "What's the name of this river?" They said, "We cut our bow from the choke cherry trees. They're strong and powerful. We named this river the Bow, Nambachta."
I was born and raised in a road allowance, a strip of land that the farmers didn't want and the government didn't have no use for. Métis were just out on their own. We didn't belong anywhere. In Treaty 7 territory, I'm accepted, I'm something, and I'm with my people.
Because you're in the territory of your ancestors, no, this is home. Something that we pass on to our children and to our grandchildren.
This land has to be acknowledged. The people that took care of this land for a long time have to be acknowledged. You know, at least find the truth about us.
I'm a residential school survivor. But it's up to me to have courage and go back and learn the ways of my people. The elders will say, I pray that the young people will not forget the Creator. The true acknowledgement of the land every day.
We honor our ancestors by acknowledging Treaty 7 territory. We acknowledge the Treaty 7 nations, the Piikani First Nation, the Siksika First Nation, the Kainai First Nation, the Stoney Nakoda First Nations, and the Tsuut'ina First Nation. We acknowledge the ancestral territory of the Siksikaitsitapi, the Blackfoot Confederacy, and the home of Métis Region number 3.
Thanks, everyone. Those are some of my favorite videos of land acknowledgement because they really show you as well some of the landscape around this place that we call Calgary that is also called Mohkinstsis. So I don't have a slide for this next presenter, so you might get to see some. Maybe I'll just stop the share there for a moment. So it's my pleasure to introduce our next speaker, Dr. Bill Ghali. Dr. Ghali is our Vice President Research, and he's been in this role since March of 2020. So as he will tell you, it's an adventurous time to take on a role as Vice President Research. He's also a professor in medicine and community health sciences, a physician in internal medicine, and was previously the scientific director of our O'Brien Institute for Public Health. So thank you so much to Dr. Ghali for being with us today. He's a fierce champion for impact and knowledge mobilization. So I know it's a real treat for him as well to welcome this group. So Bill, it's all yours. If you want to just stand in front of the podium here so that folks online can hear and see you. So you should see yourself, this little box here.
All right, and because I'm 6'5", I have to turn the screen, and then unfortunately people online have to look up my nostrils. So sorry. I think I'm okay up there. So all right. Well, thanks everyone, and I'll just open by apologizing that I have this awful schedule that I've looked at the program that you have for this annual meeting, and really excited about the program, and I'm going to live vicariously through our guest of honor, David Phipps, as the leader of Research Impact Canada. Obviously, Stephanie, our knowledge engagement team here in Calgary. So I hope you have an enjoyable meeting. I'll try to come back over if I can. So hopefully there'll be some coffee and snacks next door, and I'll participate. So it is my pleasure to welcome all of you here to the University of Calgary, either in person, so here in the room, or virtually, for this Research Impact Canada annual meeting. It's wonderful to have so many people participating in the proceedings. And as I said, welcome David as the Research Impact Canada Network Director. I know that you'll have an opportunity to meet some colleagues here from the University of Calgary, and I'm very excited that you'll be meeting Melinda Smith. Melinda is one of our Associate Vice Presidents Research, and she's also the leader of our EDIA initiatives here at the University of Calgary. We're honored to have the chance to show you the culture and history of our city, and thank you, Stephanie, for those videos that place us in the lands on which we live and work. That's a tremendous opening context. We're really wanting to share a lot about our university, and I think by being here, you get a little bit of a sense of our excitement on our campus. We have our student body back, and as Stephanie said, I began as Vice President of Research in March of 2020. And March 1st, I walk around and there's people on campus, and so full of life. Because my home faculty is medicine, I was over at the Health Sciences, which is beside Hills Hospital, and there's certainly energy there, but it's a different energy. And having those 10 days in early March of 2020 when the campus was alive was so nice and energizing. And then it, of course, went away with COVID. And it's really only now that we're kind of getting back to that same vibrancy. So it's pretty exciting. I know that we have 4 University of Calgary presenters in the program, and that you'll also have a tour of our social innovation hub. I think that's really good, and I'm pleased as Vice President of Research to see that, because we certainly do want to share some of the things that we're doing. And I hope that you'll walk away from the annual meeting feeling inspired and with new knowledge and approaches that you may want to pursue. I do want to thank everybody who's put work into organizing this meeting, and certainly Stephanie and team. I know you're central in that. It's no small feat, so let's give them a round of applause up front. I won't be. Okay, and thank you, Sandy, as well. And so, yes, I won't have a chance to be here at the very end to say the thank yous, so I'll say the thank yous up front. So I do want to share that yes, here at the University of Calgary, we've actually put a lot of energy into thinking about impact, and I was the director of our O'Brien Institute for Public Health, where members of our institute team had participated in the International School for Research Impact Assessment. So Catherine Graham, I know, is coming to some of this meeting, and Catherine and Cy Frank, who was a real pioneer in the domain of research impact. Some of you may know the story of Cy Frank. He's an orthopedic surgeon, and he was a leader of bone and joint musculoskeletal research at the University of Calgary, was one of the institute directors at CIHR for a lengthy period. Unfortunately, died prematurely. So his legacy in research impact is something that we've wanted to carry forward here at the University of Calgary. because of our participation in the O'Brien Institute in the International School of Research Impact Assessment, we embraced using at that time the Canadian Academy of Health Sciences framework for impact reporting. And then as I assumed the role of Vice President of Research, I was very, very keen for us to adopt a campus-wide approach and lean into obviously national and international programs that encourage us to think that way. We have a new strategic plan at the University of Calgary called Ahead of Tomorrow. I do encourage you to Google it if you haven't read it. It is actually quite exciting, and it does include a focus on mobilizing our knowledge and academic excellence to maximize impact. And it includes objectives to enhance our community relevance and to partner with our communities on grand challenges. And these goals will be achieved through investment in teams and initiatives that enable us to support our researchers in their pursuit of impact. And that is why a few years ago we started our knowledge engagement team, and that team has grown. It now includes specific investments in DORA. So DORA is not Dora the Explorer, but San Francisco Declaration on Research Assessment, associated investments in research impact assessment and reporting on impact, which is a little bit distinct from DORA. I hope you'll talk about that. I mean, they're overlapping, but it's a distinct activity. Initiatives in open science, in industry engagement, our innovation ecosystem, our Indigenous research support team, and then the portfolio of our Associate Vice President Research for Equity, Diversity, Inclusion, and Accessibility, and that's Melinda, that you'll be meeting later. And our membership in Research Impact Canada is hugely important to us. I had a brief breakfast yesterday with David and Stephanie, very excited about really the leadership that Research Impact Canada has shown. I think it's a leadership that differentiates Canada somewhat and on an international scale, where our country's attention to impact through research and scholarship is key. The fact that there's a community of practice that's developing with connections across institutions is really good. And the fact that we're breaking down silos to enhance research progress and impact is really powerful. The University of Calgary has been investing in transdisciplinary scholarship, and we have very explicit programs, governance, and investments in the realm of transdisciplinary scholarship. The President's office has made a $20 million investment for transdisciplinary initiatives, and that was rolled out last year. And it has a goal of creating impact through collaboration and community engaged scholarship. Those resources are going to developing capacity and enablers for transdisciplinary research across campus. And so this includes a new set of transdisciplinary connector grants here at the University of Calgary. So if you look up UCalgary connector grants, you can read about our program. We have a transdisciplinary recruitment initiative, which is creating, I think it's 17 new faculty positions in a first wave with future waves to come. And then we have a new research excellence chairs program with an announcement of those chairs coming actually on Friday. Transdisciplinary scholarship tackles the big questions of our day that don't fit into single discipline or single investigator research. And this requires explicit efforts to bring people together, to connect people. And we're working hard on that. We do have 5 areas of focus or domains of focus, and they overlap. Some they include a focus on energy futures, cities and societies, digital worlds, health and life, and then a justice and sustainability horizontal that connects across those 4 other areas. We have a very robust innovations ecosystem at the University of Calgary where a lot of investment has been made. We're #1 in startup company creation in Canada, and that's over 3 successive AUTM reports. That was, for me as a vice president of research, it was a shocking statistic. I didn't know that about our university. And so we do definitely have research-related IP accelerators. We have venture funding programs called USEED programs. That's UCEED. You can Google that program as well if you want to look at that. And then we have very explicit initiatives in social innovation, and that includes social innovation that doesn't necessarily involve creation of corporations or social enterprises, but then also social enterprise acceleration, and that's our social innovation hub. So sometimes it is about startups and commercialization. Sometimes it's about social programs, and we have an urban alliance that is an explicit formal partnership between the University of Calgary and the City of Calgary for programs and impact to be achieved within our city. So that's the Urban Alliance. We have partnerships with the health system, partnerships with social support agencies such as the United Way, the Calgary Homeless Foundation, and so on. So these are the sorts of partnerships that create impact. Our innovation ecosystem includes a number of opportunities for one-on-one mentorship and guidance. We do have those early stage seed funding programs that I just mentioned. And then we have facilitated engagement with community, industry, and government partners. And then we have explicit initiatives that are focused on connections to global research, innovation, and commercialization. And we have, for example, collaborating centers with the World Health Organization, the IOC in relation to sport injuries, and other organizations as well. And then if you look out the window that way, we have a large plot of land used to be called the University Research Park. And when I was a kid, we used to ride our dirt bikes, and there were lots of gopher holes, and it was an abandoned field. But the University Research Park is now going to be a university innovation quarter. The University of Calgary has acquired that land, and there's a substantial development plan. If you look up UIQ Calgary, you'll see a website that describes the plans for the University Innovation Quarter, where there are elements of yes, tech transfer, STEM-related IP transfer and company creation, but also some social innovation initiatives that are very exciting. So I'll just wrap up by saying I've shared a little bit about how I had that role in the O'Brien Institute for Public Health, where at the time we had, the vision was better health and healthcare. So with focus on health of communities, healthcare systems, healthcare delivery, everything in between. And you can do research in health and publish your papers and publish more papers and publish more papers. But ultimately it's about what are the issues that we're trying to address through research and scholarship, and how can we produce impact. And I think it does take a while sometimes in a research career journey to realize it's all about impact. And it's all about what you guys are talking about today. And as universities, it's really our responsibility, and this is one of the things that makes me most passionate about being in a vice president research office. It's really to create the enablers for impact. And we are at the University of Calgary an impact-focused university, and we look forward to the enriching discussions that happen today. I'm going to go out on a limb, Stephanie, and say, and David, and all of you here, there's no more important discussion happening today at the University of Calgary than the discussions that are happening in this room, because it is in research and innovation. It's all about impact. So bring on the program, Stephanie, and thank you for this opportunity.